Hello and welcome to Around the Wickets here on ThePapare.com. Well, today we are going to talk about Sri Lanka's performance against Bangladesh, or shall we say Bangladesh tour of Sri Lanka. Now, it was an amazing series as far as I was concerned, because I really thought that Sri Lanka had a great chance of winning the Test series and the T20 series, while Bangladesh was expected to really give Sri Lanka a close fight in the one-day series. But contrary to our expectations, every series was a draw. In fact, the T20 game, the second T20 game, sadly from a Sri Lankan point of view, was lost, and therefore Bangladesh won it, giving Mashrafi Mortaza a grand send-off, and Bangladesh breaking their run of defeats with a win against Sri Lanka. Now looking back at Sri Lanka's performance, Sri Lanka had a dream run in T20 cricket. They beat South Africa in South Africa and Australia in Australia, and they were expected to beat Bangladesh in Sri Lanka, but sadly it was not to be. Now, if you look at some of the key areas in this game, there were some important moments as far as this game was concerned. The first thing I thought was the way Lasith Malinga bowled. Now, when Bangladesh got to 100 in the first 10 overs, the expectation would be that the second half of the innings with wickets in hand, you might try and emulate the first 10 overs or get close to that. So I would have thought a score of around 190 was on the cards. But the way Lasith Malinga bowled, he was magnificent. His experience was great, and what he did was he reduced Mashrafi Mortaza's last innings to one ball and Mehdi Hassan's debut innings also to one ball. And therefore, he got a great hat-trick, his first in T20 cricket, and he's got many in limited over cricket. Now, I thought that was tremendous. And the way Nuwan Kulasekara came in, supported Malinga and finished things off. Now, 176 as a target didn't look big on that pitch, because one thing is there was true bounce, the ball was coming onto the bat. The outfield, though the ground being big, the outfield was good. But the key to me was the way Shakib Al Hasan bowled. The way he mixed it up, he showed us what an experienced campaigner he was. The trajectory, the speeds he bowled, how he tackled different batsmen, it was simply amazing. Getting Kusal Perera out in the first over and then Dilshan Munawira to a very poor shot. And then when Sri Lanka lost Upul Taranga, they needed Milinda Sirivaddhan and Asela Gunratne to kick on. 2 wickets of 2 balls. Now from 40 for 5, you need a miracle. Virtually you need a special effort to try and win a game. So that effort was not forthcoming, though I was impressed with the way Chamara Kapugedra batted. At least with his experience, it was a good move to bat him at number 4, and he showed us what he's capable of. And Thisara Perera continues to surprise me the way he's come back, particularly as a batsman. Now, Perera, if you looked at him in the past, he used to be someone who tends to hit over long off and long on. Doesn't really have a great repertoire of shots, but the new Thisara Perera seemed to have a wider range of shots, seemed to play square on the wicket on the offside quite well, slog sweep, and he knows how to accumulate runs. Now, what Thisara Perera will have to do is to ensure that he gets his bowling going. Now, if that happens, we'll have a really rounded cricketer as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, and that's the type of Thisara Perera Sri Lanka needs. Now, if I were to touch on Mashrafi Mortaza's retirement, big moment as far as the Bangladesh captain was concerned, but what a way. It was a dream as far as he was concerned, a dream send-off. Now, when Mahela Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara retired from T20 cricket, they won the World T20. Now, you couldn't have had a greater send-off. I mean, that could be anyone's dream. Now, Mashrafi Mortaza, very much against the odds, winning that last game, the last of his T20 career, was simply amazing. Now, well, we always encourage you, as you know, to write in to us, ask your questions so that we can try and explain and maybe share our thoughts with you. We may not be always right, and we may not be what you want. We may not be able to tell you what you want to hear, but we encourage you. Talk to us, write in to us, and we will make every effort to do that. Now, we got a fan, Sasanka Srimanta, asking us a question, a very pertinent question, I thought, where he's asking us, why did Sri Lanka shuffle the opening partnership? Now, we know that Dilshan Munawira batted at number 3, Upul Taranga and Kusal Perera opened in the first T20. Now, Sasanka, as far as I'm concerned, I really have no logical answer to give you. I was as surprised as you were, because you wouldn't want to change a tried and tested combination. But the only reason I could see is that they didn't want to send 2 left-handers in against the off-spinners of Bangladesh. Now, that to me is the only reason I can think of, nothing else. But I must also add, if you're an international class player, whether you're a left-hander or a right-hander, you should be able to play any type of bowling. You cannot be telling yourself, as a left-hander, I can't play the off-spinners, and as a right-hander, I can't play left-arm leg spin or right-arm leg spin. Now, that's not going to work if you're an international player. So sometimes that argument may not hold water, but this is the only logical reason I could give. Maybe you can think of something else, but this is what I believe. Now, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, well, they don't have too much of cricket in the next few days. Of course, we do know that Sri Lanka will travel to England for the Champions Trophy. That's going to be a very interesting tournament where all the top teams will play. And also, the national selectors will be expected to name the Champions Trophy squad by the 25th of April. That's the cut-off line or the cut-off date. Now, what the selectors have done is they are playing a four-team limited over provincial tournament. Now, they got to be applauded. Sri Lanka cricket got to be applauded for playing this tournament, though I certainly feel that 4 teams are just one team too short. Sri Lanka should have had 5 teams where you have the option of picking from 60 players or 75 players. But at the moment, it's 60 players, and certain good players may be left out. Certain marginal players who had just one bad season may not get a look in. Young players might be hard done by. So it's always difficult to select 60 when you can have the option of 75. So anyway, a provincial tournament is going to be played, a 50-over provincial tournament, which is good. So this is the opportunity for some young cricketers, some older ones, some rejected ones to show their mettle to the selectors, showcase their talent, and try and make an effort to come into the national side. So we hope you enjoyed Round the Wickets on ThePapare.com, particularly in view of what we tried to do in view of the Sri Lanka or Bangladesh tour of Sri Lanka. We'll come back again very soon. As I reminded you, or as I requested you, make sure that you send in your stories, send in your questions. We will try and answer you to the best of our ability. Until we see you again, it's goodbye from all of us.